Welcome to Yay Basketball Daily. This is everything you missed from the NBA last night, December 12th, 2022. Today's the 13th. I am Michael. This is Kyle. Let's jump right into it. Clippers beat Boston in LA. Clippers get Kawhi Leonard back, and they get the win at home. Boston's second straight loss on the road to Western Conference contenders, I guess you could say. What did you see in this one?
Yeah, we're still figuring out what the Clippers are, right? Like, we're not convinced, but it's a good win for him. Kawhi, obviously very efficient from the field last night. Shoots just 12 shots, still finishes with 25 points. He's a plus 23 on the night. They go ahead and get 26 from Paul George, but much less efficient, 8 of 22 from the field. So Kawhi seems to be kind of like picking his shots more, less, lower usage rate, but still getting it done. And they hold the Celtics duo to 41 points. So that's a good recipe for success for how those two boys have been cooking lately.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we've been saying forever from the Clippers is, can we just see them play and see what they're capable of? Is this more so a Clippers win or a Celtics loss to you?
I would just chalk it up as a good Clippers win. I mean, it's December.
Yeah.
The Celtics are still dominant. I don't think there's any reason to really start second guessing how good this Celtics team is. They are a world-class offense right now and a very much above average defense. They are going to be fine. Sometimes you run into Kawhi Leonard even in 2022. So
yeah, sometimes that happens. Good point. Yeah, I mean, the Celtics, of course, are still going to be atop the standings at 21-7, but they're only a game up on your Bucks there, so Bucks might be coming for that top spot if they keep performing like this. Just quickly looking ahead for the Celtics, they've got the Lakers tonight, the Magic, the Pacers, the Wolves. I think they should probably go 5-0 in those games.
Yeah.
I think they should probably win every single one of those. And then the big matchup on Christmas here in a couple weeks against the Bucks, which was right in that midday slot. So not panic time for the Celtics, of course. Like I said, they're still top the conference, but definitely something to note that they've lost these two back-to-back games against teams that they won't play in the playoffs unless it were in the finals. So not really anything that we need to be too concerned about. All right, let's move. Let's try to kind of move through some of these thrillers, you could say. Heat over Pacers. Again, I don't know what to say about the Heat. When are the Heat? Is the question that keep coming up, because when do they want to be hot? When do they not? This one was awkward, like for the Pacers at least. No Halliburton. Sorry, not no Halliburton. It felt like no Halliburton. With the way that he performed. The Heat just had the answer for him. He had 1 point in 33 minutes of action. 0 of 9, 0 of 6 for 3, 1 of 1 from the line. 6 assists still. He's always going to create. 2 turnovers. Just a bad performance from him. And then what you're seeing on the screen here, Bam Adebayo, 22 points, 17 rebounds, including 2 steals and 3 assists. An efficient-ish 8 of 18. Jimmy Butler adds 20 points. A team effort for the Heat here. Pacers just weren't able to get it done at home. About the Heat confusion, and just really kind of what am I looking at when I'm seeing this team. Bam has started to pick it up. He's had 3 30-point games in his last 5. And this, if this wasn't as much of a kind of a blowout as it was, he probably would have gone for 30 again in this one. You can see there the post move against Miles Turner, who's a great defender. He was really kind of locked in, and he seemed to be the difference maker last night. So all those big boards and putbacks. Anything on this one?
Yeah, this one seems more like is it a Heat win or Pacers loss? This one sort of feels more like a Pacers loss.
Agreed.
Halliburton's just been carrying them all season, playing phenomenally. So I'm not surprised that they lose by 5 when he goes 0 of 9 from the field. Only has 6 assists. He's still leading the league in assists, over 10 a game, over 1 more per game than Trae Young in second. So that's what they rely on. So when he's well under performing in the scoring perspective and not getting the assists he's gotten continuously this season, it's a recipe for an L.
Yeah. Standings wise, Heat, they maintain their arthritic grip on the 10th spot in the East at 13 and 15. The Pacers are now in the play-in spot, 14 and 14, right at 500, tied with the Hawks. 3 and 7 in their last 10. It was looking good for a second. They've lost 2 back-to-back. So, I think it's good if a team like the Pacers are performing well. But they've had a rough go of it as of late. So hopefully they can get it together for the Pacers' sake. They're a pretty fun young team to watch. So
yeah.
We'll move on to Justin's team about to get bumped to the G League. Wizards here lost 7 straight, 1-9 in their last 10. The Nets come in and take care of business. Obviously, Kevin Durant shows up and shows out. We talked about this briefly before we got started here. These uniforms gotta quit. Like I'm not saying anything necessarily about either one of them individually. You said you like the idea of the Wizards, but it's not executed super well. I agree, and it's more so about these 2 jerseys on the court at the same time. I can't take it. It's a visual assault to me. I don't like it. But in terms of the game, the Nets' big 3, quote unquote, 30 for KD. Kyrie gets 24, and then Ben, kind of what you want from Ben, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. The Wizards are just terrible right now, so this was kind of an easy walkover win for the Nets.
Yeah. Just pull up 3 after pull up 3 for KD.
Yeah.
These Wizards uniforms. It's like you're going with the cherry blossom motif, and it's just all pink. Just the pinkest uniforms.
Cotton candy looking ass.
Yeah, it's just you could have done so much better. So I really like the Nets ones, but it's confusing on this court. They sort of look like the home team. But yeah, I guess enough about the uniforms. Trade Kyle Kuzma, sell high, right? I feel like we're at that point now. He's been in some trade rumors. Seems like he wants out. Denny Avdia. He's unfortunately in a lot of these highlights.
I mean, he was just getting bodied by the Slim Reaper there last night. It's funny. Last week on the podcast, Justin said, you might be thinking it's time to trade some of these stars for younger talent, and I don't think so. And then last night on the show, he goes, it's time to sell them all. So get rid of them. Move on. So how quickly the tides turn there in Washington. Anything else on this one? Kind of a snoozer win for the Nets.
No, I'm not convinced of the Nets, and I am convinced of the Wizards. So I think we can move on.
Yeah. Also, quick note: if you listen to the podcast, Bob had a pretty hot take about the Nets. He suddenly thinks they're going to be the number 1 seed at the end of the regular season. I said, well, it's on wax, so we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, moving on. Grizzlies dominate the Hawks. I mean, no Trey, no DeJounte, no John Collins, no Ja, no Desmond Bane. This was, again, kind of, I hate using the word snoozer, but I've used it a lot because some of these games were kind of lame. A couple standouts from the Grizzlies, though. Triple J, career high 8 blocks. You're gonna see these on the screen here. He was all over the place. This was a 30-point game midway through the third quarter, and so the Grizzlies get 8 players in double figures. And I wanna give a shout out to rookie Kennedy Chandler, who played some big. 23 minutes, 8.6 rebounds, 7 assists. He had this crazy rim rocker dunk and a huge block in the fourth quarter. Yeah, granted, a lot of it was garbage time, but they said his name on the broadcast just as much as anybody else. And, of course, because it was garbage time, we got some Kenny Lofton Jr. minutes.
Hell
we got
yeah.
4 minutes of Kenny Lofton
Well
Jr.
overdue.
And the man performed. He looked like rookie of the year sleeper. Anything on this one?
We have some comments about some other players who really went off for Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of mentioned this before, but man, I mean, just even looking at this box score last night, I know partially this is because this was sort of runaway win early on. But just looking at some of these guys who, playing over 20 minutes a game is a pretty big deal. That's not garbage time minutes. That's not like, oh, he's on the box score. And then you look and it's like, oh, the last 3 minutes of the game.
Right.
You look at this and it's Conchar, 24 minutes. Tyus Jones, 25 minutes. Aldama, 21. Tillman, 21. Roddy, 22. Like you said, Chandler, the rookie, 23. Zaire Williams, 21. That is an entire bench of players.
I mean, they did empty out their bench. Like, they used pretty much every single player that they got. Here's a look at this Kennedy Chandler dunk, which was quite a rim rocker here in the first quarter to end the first quarter. Bam. Just beats his guy off the dribble, and I think that's AJ Griffin there, right? Beats his guy off the dribble and gets that impressive dunk for a small kid. He was just all over the place. A guy that if you're not watching many Grizzlies games, you might not know about, but he's an exciting young piece. The Grizzlies just keep adding young talent. They just keep doing it. So they just keep going. So
can't keep getting away with it.
You can't keep getting away with this. Awesome. A little bit of an exciting matchup here to move on to. Luka outduels SGA. They both went off, but as you can imagine, the Mavericks get the win. Luka, incredible. I mean, what was it? 38, 11, and 8. Dinwiddie and Hardaway both add 20. SGA, 14 to 23 from the field, 42 points and 13 to 13 from the line. This is exciting. The Thunder got it down to 5 points with a few minutes to go, but Dallas ends up closing it out, obviously on the shoulders of one Luka Doncic. What you got on this?
Good battle between the two highest scoring players in the league right now. Sort of an interesting thing to think about. It's it's not Steph, it's not KD, it's not Giannis, it's not Jokic, it's Embiid. It's these two guys getting it done from everywhere. Shea's shooting is so much better. Luka is kind of in the zone right now where I think he understands if he doesn't. I mean, we can talk about SGA having no help, but Luka also has no help. They don't win if he doesn't score at least 33 points a game. So
they've only got one win all year when he doesn't score 30.
Yeah. So I've watched some Mavs games where he tried to share the ball more, get some other people involved. The Bucks game was one of them that they collapsed at the end. This is what it's required of him right now for the Mavs to be successful. And this is still keeping him just over 500, I believe. This win brings him to 14 and 13. So it's been a grind for them this season.
It has. I don't know what the answer is there because they don't have assets. They don't have pieces to move. They don't really have some war chest that they can rely on to go get a guy. They've just got to. I think they just have to hope that Luka continues to be amazing and players want to come play with him. But it doesn't look that promising there in Dallas in terms of what help might come. I mean, I don't really know what the answer is. I think that if he's not phenomenal, this Mavericks team is just going to continue to be where they're at. Which he's doing incredible things, but unfortunately, one man's efforts can only do so much. So we'll see what he's able to do for the rest of the season. Anything else on this one? Is it, anything of note for you?
I think that's about it. It's just I guess they seem to have the Wizards front office on speed dial 1, so maybe figure out another Wizards trade. That's all that's been going through Dallas lately. So
all right. So nothing huge on that one. Again, just a crazy Luka game, and Mavericks get the win over a potentially tanking-ish Thunder team. Move on to a surprising one. The Spurs surprised the Cavs. They dominated them most of this game.
They did. It was not close for most of the game. They made it a game at the end, outscored them 33 to 20 in the fourth quarter. I was kind of paying attention to whether or not they could get it close, and they sort of did, but just couldn't get it done. And I am smashing the same button I did preseason. The Cavs need a wing. My guesses were it's either going to be Isaac Okoro if they want the defense or LeVert if they want the offense. And instead, they've been starting Lamar Stevens in that position, who seems to be giving them neither. He had 0 shot attempts last game.
Woof.
So, Yeah, it's sort of that's the missing link for this team. I just keep saying it. You put Mobley and Allen and Garland and Mitchell together, you just got to put someone in there. And they seem to be relying on Karis LeVert coming off the bench. He had 23 points off the bench, so good performance from him. But I think that's a good fit, having him lead the second unit. They just got to find a starting three.
Yeah, I mean, you get 36 minutes from Donovan Mitchell, 40 minutes from Darius Garland, 18 for Garland, 28 for Mitchell, 16 for Jared Allen, 17 for Mobley. I look at this game, if I just look at this box score for the Cavs, I go, well, they won, right? Against the Spurs. But something just didn't click. I mean, if you kind of look at the team performance, it's pretty similar. I mean, assists were close, steals were close. They won the block battle. They turned the ball over a little bit more. They shot the ball better. They lost the three-point shot, and that's about it. So, the Spurs are just able to, as they typically do in typical Spurs fashion, put together a good team win and hold off the Cavs as they get that late surge. Anything else on that?
They ran into Josh Richardson.
Yeah,
starting to look better down there in San Antonio.
He's finding a fit. Pop's finally maximizing the young Josh Richardson. So we'll move on to at least an exciting singular performance from a guy we all like, I feel, Damian Lillard. 38 points, I believe. Blazers over Wolves, 133-112. You had some. What were his averages since he's returned from injury there?
Yeah, 4 games back since the calf strain, averaging 33.8 points per game, I believe. Shooting over 50% from the field and from 3, and he's a perfect 25 of 25 from the line. So,
gosh,
just an incredible shooting performance from Dame. I said last week that Dame time turns out less fun when it's against a team you root for, and when it's against a team like the Wolves that I do not tend to root for, Dame time's fun again. So
yes,
these highlights were a blast to watch. Dame's just knocking it down from everywhere, takes the pressure off some of these other guys who have been carrying the team while he's been out. Simons, I believe, only gives you 12 points. Jeremy Grant still had a good game, but yeah, this is how the team sort of should be structured on most nights, with Dame kind of carrying them. But yeah, incredible performance.
Yeah, he's going off, and it is so exciting to see Dame time back. I mean, how could you not love Damian Lillard? In terms of the standings, the Blazers, since he's come back, they're on a little bit of an upswing. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They've won two back to back, and they are officially out of the play-in into that 6th spot. They are tied with the Clippers for that 7th spot, but they have the tiebreak over them. Yeah, so the Blazers look like they, if they get this level of Dame and Simons and Jeremy Grant continue to perform, and Nurkic plays his role well, they could have something there in Portland. So I think that does it for games last night, but we will move on to some news that broke this morning. We got some new trophies to take a look at.
Ooh, new trophies.
Very interesting timing, I feel. So these are going to go live this morning. Or sorry, not this morning. They're handing them out today. This season, I should say. The most notable one being that the regular season MVP is now the Michael Jordan Trophy. He won 5 of them in his career. And I want to take a look at this because look at this picture here real quick. Let me see if I can get this pulled up. That's the trophy there. And that's not Michael Jordan to me. I mean, that doesn't really look like I don't know. It doesn't really look like anybody, which is fine, I guess.
Does it say it there? I can't tell.
Yeah, it says Michael Jordan Trophy right above the key of most valuable player.
Did you see that the trophy itself is 23.6 inches high to honor the number 23 jersey and his 6 titles?
That's some gross ass fanboy shit right there. That's weird. That's weird for the NBA to do that.
So
but all right.
The backstory with that is that one of the old Jordan sneaker designers who did a lot of that stuff with some of his old shoes, with putting some of his stats and accomplishments on the outsoles and things like that, worked on this trophy. So that's why you see the same gimmicky stuff. But yeah, that's moved on to LeBron's shoes, kind of doing that too. But I got a kick out of this one. I just want to see one Michael Jordan memorabilia that honors like his worst parlay bets or his
right
his worst trip to Vegas, like the most money he lost gambling in any given year. Like I want that memorialized in something.
That'd be a
I've heard about
statue,
his 6 MVPs plenty.
Yeah. The another one that we both kind of said, is the Jerry West Trophy, awarded to the Kia NBA Clutch Player of the Year. One ring, Jerry West. The logo, as if we, like you said before we started, like we haven't honored the man enough.
Yeah.
The Jerry West Trophy, again. Is that supposed to be Jerry West in that photo? It's just a guy shooting a jump shot, I guess. I like this style more than I like this style. Although I don't really dislike either, but I kind of like the figure enclosed in the glass. I think is a little bit more modern looking. Hakeem Olajuwon, I feel like deserved for Defensive Player of the Year.
Deserved, yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain, Rookie of the Year. Little, okay, sure. When I think of Wilt, I don't think of like, oh yeah, best
That
rookie ever.
season.
That rookie season.
Yeah, he needs to be, I think, honored more than they have so far. So I was cool with getting a trophy in his name. Kind of show the young kids, make sure they remember who Wilt was. So cool with this one.
Yeah. To answer a question Daniel here has, why wouldn't they just use the Jordan logo? Like Cactus says, copyright issues, and they can't be putting a brand on a trophy that they're giving out from the league. So, but yeah, Wilt Chamberlain's the Rookie of the Year. John Havlicek, Sixth Man of the Year. That's fine. Havlicek won this number of times. I'm sure it says it somewhere in that paragraph. If you find it, good for you guys. George Mikan, Most Improved. Cool.
Harry Potter glasses.
Yeah, that does it. That does it for the new stuff. Of course, we get all these all this. They've been adding things, like they added some in the offseason. They added some for last year for the Western Conference and Eastern Conference players of the MVPs of the conference finals, which whatever. So I mean, cool. I was a little surprised, but like you mentioned, no Kareem trophy.
I do wonder if, I'm sure these guys, the ones alive, were consulted on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want to be involved in this? I could see Kareem not wanting to be involved in this. Pretty humble guy. So I do wonder if that's part of it before we jump to accusing the league of not honoring Kareem. And I am curious.
Maybe they have something, maybe they have something planned for it. Maybe they will do something with Kareem, and this just wasn't, it's not time yet or something. They're not unveiling it yet, or they're going to figure him into something else. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, well that's the news for this morning. But let's look ahead to tonight's games. A couple good matchups here. The starting with what I think will be an exciting matchup, and I'm excited to see Kings Sixers. Two teams that on paper I would think the Sixers would get this crazy win if you told me preseason. But now these teams are performing fairly similarly. Joel Embiid is on another level right now. 50-point game the other night. But the Kings travel to the Sixers to Philly. Make a pick. What do you think?
I'll give it to Philly, but yeah, the Kings are going to play him tough. Sabonis has been overachieving, I think. Even if it doesn't always show up in the box score, he's been incredible for them. So I totally agree that's going to be a fun matchup. And then looking ahead to Warriors-Bucks, obviously, we don't have to give a whole lot of exposition on why that's going to be an exciting game. I've always would love to see that be a finals matchup. I'm really curious to see. They don't play each other too often, so I really hope that's a good game. I hope both teams, don't do some last minute kind of scratches on guys. I hope everybody runs their guys and we actually play. Yeah.
The Bucks will win this because it is in Milwaukee, and the Warriors are 2-11 on the road.
Ooh.
So they have the second worst road record in the league. So I'm sure Steph will have 37 points, and the Bucks will still win by 12. Houston over Phoenix tonight. I could see that. The Suns are on a bit of a slide, I believe, right? They've lost 4 straight. Whoa! They were the first seed, and they just got dominated this weekend by the Pelicans, which we didn't really get a chance to talk about because we weren't able to go live yesterday. But man, Pelicans look like dominant, and the Suns look kind of tragic at the moment. Well, tragic is maybe an overreaction, but they don't look great.
Yeah, Suns. Well, yeah, the Pelicans are kind of their Achilles heel right now. Showed it this weekend. Ayton really was not the answer for Zion on defense. Zion just ran wild. The Pels they're exceeding my expectations, and I thought I was going out on a limb saying they'd be a home playoff team. They look better than that. They look like the second best team in the league. Yeah. They're complete. They've drafted incredibly well. All of their young guys are contributors. Alvarado, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. It looks incredible. This is a very fun team to watch. Even against the Jazz tonight, watch this game if you can. The Pels are a delight, and they're still waiting to get Brandon Ingram back.
Yes. Pelicans Jazz will be exciting. I hope the Jazz at least put up a little bit of a fight. They're not going to probably, I wouldn't think that they would win this game, but who knows? Anything's possible. And then throwing it way back, it's just like the old days, right? Celtics Lakers, here's the rivalry again. Not quite. Although the Celtics have lost these 2 back-to-back games against the Warriors and the Clippers on the road, I do imagine that they will be able to take care of business against the Lakers, unless, LeBron always has had it out for the Celtics. So maybe he does something special. Who knows? Anthony Davis. The Celtics definitely don't have an answer for Anthony Davis if he has the kind of game he's been having, kind of before he cooled off a touch. But also, ain't nobody doing nothing with Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. So
on the perimeter for the Lakers, it's pretty thin. Yeah. Thrilled to see this is the TNT lineup tonight. I think this will be really funny to listen to. As much as I don't enjoy talking about the Lakers anymore, it's pretty fun watching the TNT guys kind of rail on them. So I think definitely. Cactus will feel better after tonight. Betting on the C's to get a win.
Awesome. All right. Well, that just about wraps it up. Anything else? Anything else for the people today?
Nope. Just happy to be back. Sorry we missed a couple awesome Pels Suns games, but we'll catch the rest of them.
Yes, we will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. The audio of the podcast dropped last night. It was a good episode. Be sure you check that one out. We played a brand new game called the Scouting Report, which was a whole lot of fun. And Justin and Bob got a little mad at me at the end there. It was a lot of fun. So be sure to check that out. Video drops on YouTube later today. We will be back tomorrow morning. We love you. Don't forget,